Tonight, a tough few days for public servants.
There's going to be very significant impacts for Canadians, just like the very deep public service cuts that we saw in the 1990s.
As thousands more find out their jobs could be the ones impacted by government cuts. This weather today and icy cold tomorrow.
We have close to 250 beds plus mats going down, and then 20, 30, 40 people in the waiting area.
As the temperature plunges tonight, the work being done to protect those most vulnerable through a weekend deep freeze. And packed in or watching trains go by.
Very crowded, very hard to get on, mostly stressful.
As more LRT issues created a miserable morning commute. Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news as the federal government continues to issue notices to public servants in Ottawa and across Canada. More than 2,000 employees have been told over the past 3 days their jobs may be cut as part of the government's plan to get rid of 28,000 jobs over the next 4 years. CTV's Natalie Van Roy is live with the latest. Natalie.
Patricia, it's been a very stressful day for thousands of federal workers who are waiting to find out if their department is affected by these job cuts. And we now know that more than 1,000 employees at Health Canada have received notice this week, as well as more than 1,000 workers at Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. A stressful time for workers as federal departments continue to issue layoff notices to public service workers. More than 1,000 public servants at Health Canada being informed their jobs may be eliminated.
We're starting to see the rubber hit the road here, and what we warned about.
The federal government promised to cut 28,000 jobs over the next 4 years. Health Canada has not said how many jobs will be eliminated, but the union warns job cuts will hurt everyday Canadians.
There's going to be very significant impacts for Canadians, just like the very deep public service cuts that we saw in the 1990s. But those set up some of the worst crises that we're still in, like our healthcare crises.
Notices have been issued at more than a dozen other departments, including Statistics Canada, Shared Services Canada, Global Affairs, Public Services and Procurement Canada, Innovation, Science and Economic Development. At Health Canada, the workforce has already seen a reduction in workers over the past 2 years, dropping from more than 10,000 to 9,628. An Ottawa Liberal MP said this week the government will support affected workers.
We know that the National Capital Region has at least 40% of public servants that will be affected, and we are very aware of the anxiety that comes for the employer that is the federal employer, which is the #1 employer in the city.
And notices are going to continue going out over the next few days. We know that the Department of Global Affairs says it's going to continue to notify employees until January 31st. Patricia.
CTV's Natalie Van Roy live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, a polar vortex is set to grip the capital this week, but first, some snow. This is a time lapse now of that snow moving through downtown Ottawa this afternoon. Got heavy very quickly. Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement calling for bands of heavy snow into this evening. Once the snow is gone, the temperatures will begin to drop. Ottawa is set to experience the coldest nights in 3 years, with temperatures dropping to -30 Celsius Friday night and Saturday night. CTV's Katie Griffin is outside before the really cold temperatures set in and joins us live. Katie.
Well, Patricia, the average low for this time of year is -16. By tomorrow night, it is expected to be twice as cold as that. Brian Lehman is doing his best to stay warm.
I've got a good warm coat on, warm gloves, ear muffs over this. I'm ready for it.
He's been a client at the Ottawa Mission for a few years now. They're getting ready for an influx of people looking to get out of the cold.
Our beds have been full. The mats that go down on the chapel room floor have been full. And now people in the waiting area, the lounge area, where we have plastic chairs or they curl up on the floor, the numbers can get as high as 30 to 40 per night on nights like this.
CEO Peter Tilley says the demand highlights the need for a better solution.
Nobody wants to see a large sprung shelter type facility in their backyard, and we've gone through that, but I think for winter housing strategy, just for the coldest nights, we need something along those lines in some other communities than the downtown core.
With overnight lows close to -30 Friday and Saturday, it will be the coldest it's been in Ottawa since February 2023.
We have a sleeping bag. These are rated to -37.
The Salvation Army outreach and housing team is out 24/7 connecting with clients.
So that includes informing them of the cold, providing warm and clean jackets, boots, sleeping bags, and then, of course, providing them their options for when it does get very cold, should they decide to go inside.
When dealing with extreme cold, experts say to cover exposed skin, dress in several warm layers. If your clothes get wet, change into dry clothes as soon as possible and limit time outside for you and your pets. As for Lehman, he's taking it in stride.
Well, it's winter. We got to handle it as it comes.
We do, and the Ottawa Mission says when the weather is this cold, it's always in need of winter clothing like jackets and boots. If you see someone who is in need of assistance, you can always call 311 and be connected to the Salvation Army's outreach van. And in anticipation of the extreme cold weather, we've also seen some events canceled or postponed, including 613 Flea, which was supposed to take place Saturday at the Aberdeen Pavilion. That's now been postponed until the 31st. Patricia?
Okay, CTV's Katie Griffin live for us tonight. Thank you. And here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. So yes, not terribly cold yet. -6 in Ottawa right now. It is going to get much colder overnight, and then the next few days are going to be something. So fortunately, not crazy cold where Jackie is either, although I imagine you're feeling a bit of that breeze. Beautiful behind you, though. Out on the ski hill tonight, Jackie.
I mean, tonight would be a great night if you are going to choose in the next several days to hit the slopes, because temperatures are going to continue to drop, as Katie mentioned, as we move into the weekend. The drive up here, a little bit of a challenge. A snow squall watch was in effect for parts of the Outaouais, including Wakefield, but it has since lifted. This is the good news. So we're in for some pretty clear skies for the evening if you are planning to hit the slopes later this evening. Taking a look now here, we did mention the cold and the polar vortex that is coming through. I'm taking a look now. It is going to be pretty cold Friday night into Saturday morning, where we could see temperatures around -27, and then moving into our Saturday and our Sunday, it's going to be averaging between -27 and -20 as well. Temperatures across the region right now, well, sitting around -6, but again, it is going to be dipping. Tomorrow's daytime high is only about -11. So again, lots of things to factor in. The wind chill as well, but it's not stopping people here on the ski hill. And we talked to the general manager here, who we'll be speaking to later on in the show. They said that the slopes are planning to be open, but they are keeping a close eye and monitoring the weather as well. We'll take it back to you in studio.
Still ahead, artificial intelligence at the bargaining table. Teachers' assistants at Carleton rally in protest of use of AI, they say, could cost them jobs. That story coming up. Well, it was likely a more crowded trip on O Train Line 1 today, as a new issue with the wheels sidelined dozens of LRT vehicles. OC Transpo is running fewer double-car trains on the line, the latest issue for the trouble-plagued system. CTV's Tyler Fleming is following this story for us and joins us live. Tyler.
Yeah, Patricia, it's day one of reduced trains on Line 1, and riders are feeling the squeeze. For Sophia Marillis, the morning LRT commute to class was off the rails right from the start.
So I took the train from Herdman, and I had to let the first go by because it was absolutely packed. Like, people couldn't fit.
It's because O Train Line 1 service is running with a reduced fleet.
And then when I got on to the second, it was still like unbelievable. Everyone was commenting that they couldn't fit, and people were asking for everyone to stop pushing, but people couldn't get in.
Mostly stressful because it comes to the station, it's already full of people.
On Wednesday, OC Transpo said out of its more than 60 train cars, only 18 can stay on the tracks after a safety issue was discovered. The wheel systems on the train aren't holding up. For many, it feels like the same old story.
It's always busted.
We cannot take risks with our passenger safety. We don't want another derailment. We don't want to see what happened here in Ottawa in 2023.
It was axle bearings back then, and it's the cartridge bearing assembly now, but no clear answers on the connection or who's paying to fix it on the entire fleet.
It's frustrating for residents, it's frustrating for passengers, it's frustrating for me. But every time a problem is identified, our responsibility is to make sure that the trains are safe.
LRT is on schedule, but with fewer double-car trains, and replacement bus service isn't an option. There's already a shortage.
I waited here to catch the bus to go home, and it was delayed by a half hour, and the weather was fine. There was not that much snow, so I couldn't understand why it was delayed for half an hour.
As trains are repaired, they'll rejoin the fleet, but it's going to take time.
It's not something that I can full-heartedly trust.
And for many, their patience is wearing thin.
I'm not excited how long it's going to take for me to get home.
Now, when it comes to the East Line extension, work is moving ahead in parallel with the repairs, but there's no word on when testing will begin and when passengers will be able to ride into Orleans. Patricia.
It is a waiting game on many fronts. Tyler, thank you. CTV's Tyler Fleming live for us tonight. Well, students could have fewer courses to choose from at Algonquin College in the fall. The college's Board of Governors will vote next month on a plan to suspend 30 programs in Ottawa and Pembroke, including journalism and hospitality courses. CTV's Stefan Keys is following this story for us and joins us live. Steph?
Patricia, Algonquin College already has plans to cut 37 academic programs starting in September and canceled 4 dormant ones. All of it is to deal with a multi-million-dollar deficit being compounded by the cap on international students. Now the college confirms more programs are going to be cut. Algonquin College has campuses left in Ottawa and Pembroke after closing its campus in Perth. In a post on its website, Algonquin College says the Board of Governors will vote on February 23rd on a recommendation to suspend another 30 programs. If approved, no students will be admitted to the programs, but currently enrolled students will be able to complete their studies. The programs recommended for suspension in Ottawa include journalism, music, media, and film foundations, Bachelor of Culinary Arts and Food Science, bartending, hospitality, law clerk, event management, paralegal. 4 programs will also be suspended in Pembroke: business, business fundamentals, computer programming, environmental management, and assessment. In a statement, Algonquin College said the changes to the academic program offerings will ensure alignment with student and labor market demands, financial sustainability, and resource optimization. Algonquin College says the programs were selected due to several factors, including enrollment, volatility, changing labor market, and student demand. Once again, Algonquin's Board of Governors will vote on February 23rd. Patricia.
CTV's Steph Keys reporting live for us tonight. Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke directly to Canadians today about building the future of this country.
In this time of great consequence, we are choosing. We are choosing to work together to build one Canadian economy. We've made great progress over the past year. Now we have to redouble our efforts with the provinces and territories. We're choosing to find new markets and develop new partnerships. We've announced a dozen new economic and security partnerships across 4 continents in the last 6 months. More will come, all will deepen.
Carney says the government is committed to forming more and deeper international partnerships. The speech kicked off a 2-day cabinet planning forum in Quebec City ahead of Parliament's return on Monday. The next Premier of Quebec will be chosen on April 12th. After François Legault announced his resignation last week, his party, the CAQ, now says it will select its new leader, who will also be the next Premier in April. Those looking to qualify as candidates must obtain the signatures of 1,000 party members from at least 75 ridings. Quebec's general election is set for October. The iconic Alexandra Bridge is set for a facelift. The National Capital Commission approving a new design for the interprovincial bridge today, changing the landscape between Ottawa and Gatineau. CTV's Dylan Dyson is following this and joins us with more on the bridge tonight. Dylan.
Yeah, that's right, Patricia. The Alexandra Bridge opened 126 years ago, and the NCC says it has reached its end of life. The new design brings the bridge into the new century, but not everyone is happy about it.
This slide presents a rendering of the current design as seen from the Capitol Pathway in Jacques Cartier Park.
This is what the Alexandra Bridge connecting downtown Ottawa with Gatineau will look like in 6 years.
I like it. It flows, just like the Ottawa.
It's modern. It, I think, reflects probably what people expect from a 21st century bridge versus a 19th century one.
The National Capital Commission approved the new design of the Alexandra Bridge Thursday, a drastic change from the current industrial-style bridge.
It's a nice design. It's beautiful, but I do like the very old railroad style of the old one.
It doesn't capture the aesthetic, the spirit of the old Alexandra Bridge, which has just become an essential part of the landscape here.
It continues to consist of a 3-arch bridge with 2 in-water piers.
Some think the historic Alexandra Bridge, which opened in 1900, doesn't need to be replaced.
The coalition believes that the bridge is still maintainable. It could go on for many years, but the authorities think that they simply forego the heritage value of it.
Construction is expected to begin in 2028 and take until 2032. Regardless of design, some commuters are worried about what a 4-year closure of the crossing will mean.
What I'm concerned about is the way we might lose the bridge for a couple of months or years, and I use it on a daily basis. It's going to be quite a mess to go around and find another way to get by feet to downtown.
Now, no builder has been awarded the project yet. That's expected to be announced this spring. And again, the new Alexandra Bridge isn't slated to open until 2032. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. Thank you. You can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more pictures showing the new Alexandra Bridge. You can download the CTV News app right now. Just scan that QR code on your screen using your smartphone. Well, nearly 80,000 people in Gatineau are being asked to boil their tap water tonight. The city of Gatineau issued a preventive boil water advisory for parts of the Gatineau and Hull sectors. Officials say as part of ongoing work at the drinking water treatment plant, an electrical issue caused a shutdown of the pumps this morning. It resulted in a brief drop in water pressure. Residents are asked to boil their tap water for 1 minute before consuming it. 3 cats are warming up at the Ottawa Humane Society tonight after being discovered inside a gym bag abandoned in the cold. The Humane Society sharing images of 3 cats on their Facebook page today. Officials say they were wet, dirty, and covered in their own feces. The cats were checked out right away at the Ottawa Humane Society and given something to eat. The Humane Society says if you cannot care for your animals, contact them immediately. Well, coming up, calls to put guardrails on the AI information highway at Carleton University. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. I'm joined with Kara and her friends. You guys have been here since 5 o'clock. Had a chance to hit the slopes?
Yes, it was really fun. The skiing conditions were really good.
Okay, we've said good skiing conditions. How is the weather for you guys? Cold? Not too cold?
Not too cold. I mean, well, I'm hot because I'm skiing, so... Yeah.
That's the solution here for getting out here on a cold night like tonight. Just get moving. So I'm going to get you guys head to that lift here and enjoy the rest of this evening. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam showcasing Parliament Hill as well as Spark Street. The current temperature about -6 in downtown Ottawa. Factor in that wind chill though, feeling closer to -12.
Today's snow report brought to you by Mont Cascade, only 20 minutes from Ottawa.
And here are today's conditions. Some new snow at Mont Cascade. Good base, 3 lifts open and 15 runs available. And looking right across the region, it's 3 of 3 at Calabogie Peaks and 8 runs at Boal, 4 of 4 and 11 runs. 5 of 6 at Camp Fortune, 20 runs are open. And at Edelweiss, 2 lifts, looking beautiful, and 12 runs.
Your best runs begin at Mont Cascade. Large learning area, varied terrain. We've got everything you need to improve your skills. High quality rentals, great instructors, and fun times. Come join us at Mont Cascade.
Artificial intelligence is a new frontier in labor negotiations. As employers adopt the technology, workers are pushing for protections and assurances that AI will not replace their jobs. At Carleton University, the union representing teaching assistants held a rally today fighting for clear-cut rules on how AI should be used going forward as ongoing contract talks linger with the school. CTV's Kimberly Fowler reports.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. AI slump has got to go.
Teachers' assistants, research assistants, and contract instructors braved the cold Thursday afternoon for the Keep Carleton Human rally at Carleton University.
This could become a school
where ChatGPT writes the papers, ChatGPT grades the papers, rich kids buy an experience, and nobody gets an education.
Finn Dodgson, a research assistant in the physics department, is marching across campus with other supporters in their fight for the university to agree on defined policies and establishing protections around the day-to-day use of artificial intelligence.
There should be, like they say, guardrails on how it should be used and how it can be used in the context of grading student work and, providing feedback.
CUPE 4600, the union representing teaching, service, and research assistants at Carleton University, have been bargaining with the school since September.
There's no reason the university shouldn't be willing to commit to protect the jobs and the roles of these people at the university.
The union wants protections from AI for TAs having their work reduced or replaced, making hiring, evaluations, and/or discipline decisions, data or work being fed to AI, and being forced to use AI. In an open letter to the university, the union says AI fundamentally undermines the purpose of higher education, and their supporters agree.
We are all working for a better public education and against the degradation of public education.
The union says Carleton's bargaining team has repeatedly rejected their proposal.
We've had some difficulties at the bargaining table getting to school to negotiate with us on these protections. They say they don't have a mandate from the Board of Governors, so we're kind of out here today to let the Board of Governors know, give your team a mandate. We're looking to get these protections.
In a statement to CTV News from the university says, Carleton University supports the responsible, ethical, and human-centered use of technology and is committed to working with the union's bargaining team to reach a renewed collective agreement.
TAs will not be forced to use AI.
Kimberly Fowler, CTV News.
You may have seen some snow today, depending on when you were outside. It was nice at times and beautiful at the park here, above seasonal temperatures. However, several snow squalls did move through the capital during the day. You saw some of those in our stories. A little bit of snow blowing around right there, and there is a wind chill at Edelweiss tonight, right? But not super cold just yet, Jackie. We know it's coming.
We know it's coming, but temperatures have significantly dropped from just this morning. And even talking to the general manager here, you mentioned it, there were several snow squalls in effect. They saw at least 3 in their Wakefield area. It has since lifted. So this is the good news. But right now, conditions for pretty much Ottawa, temperatures sitting around 6 degrees. We did see a nice daytime high about -2, but temperatures are rapidly dropping as we get into the evening and continue into tomorrow. Now, here's a closer look at tonight's lows. We will see a bit of a break in the snowfall, but the overnight lows move to about -12, -14. If you take a look at Pembroke as well as Petawawa, -18, and that's not factoring in the wind chill. The northwesterly winds are really bringing in the Arctic air that's moving through. So as we look towards tomorrow's daytime highs, well, it's not going to get much warmer than what we are seeing for those overnight lows. Daytime high -13 for along Cornwall as well as Ottawa. -10, -11 along the Seaway. And then as we look towards the valley, temperatures sitting around -17. And again, stressing this is going to be the daytime high, where we might see some light flurries move through along the parts of eastern Ontario. But for the most part, we are anticipating mainly cloudy skies with a little bit of sunshine. So we talked about that cold air moving through. This gives you a better idea of what it looks like really across the country. As we look towards Friday evening, really the winds are going to be moving closer to Ottawa and as well as parts of Ontario, where temperatures will be feeling closer to -22. As we look towards Saturday as well, into the morning, we're going to see temperatures, especially in the start of the day, feeling closer to -24. -27 is the anticipated overnight lows, and this will extend into Sunday as well. So it's going to be a couple of days where we're going to be in this deep freeze. So stay comfortable. And this is affecting parts of the U.S. where there is a big U.S. storm developing for the weekend that may hit southern Ontario with snow. This is still early in the forecast, but we could likely see this Sunday into Monday. And how does that affect us here in Ottawa exactly? Well, by Sunday night, we could start to see some snow moving through. Now, this 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. Now, what we are bracing for is not just the deep plunge, but also potential snow that could change at any time, depending on how the winds move, and could affect that U.S. snowstorm that's moving through. So it's not likely until Sunday night that we will likely start to see a little bit of this move through. Monday, the early forecast could be calling between 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. But right now, what our focus is on is heading into one of the coldest stretches of the season. So the surge of cold Arctic air settling over the region, not just starting in tonight, but tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And while we are bracing for how cold it is, and we're telling everyone to stay cautious, I'm talking to the general manager here, who we will be speaking to later on, Patricia. He's saying, you know what, I know it's going to be cold, but this is actually going to be really great conditions if you are wanting to get out on the ski hill. You just got to bundle up and make sure to get moving, and this is one of those ways to do so.
You're always warmest wearing the ski goggles. Those are great protection. So, good stuff. We'll talk to you again in a bit, Jackie.
If you go through the ice, grab a hold of those, and you can pick those into the ice and help pull yourself onto the shelf and get out of the water. So,
well, coming up, Ottawa police hoping it's a safe start to snowmobile season in the region.
Mark Carney hits back at Donald Trump.
But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
And the U.S.'s new warning to Canada. Later on CTV National News, and watch on Crave.
Well, in tonight's big picture, the Toronto Zoo had an unusual way for Maisie to get their snack. The zoo sharing video of Maisie, a female Amur tiger, getting up close with a snowman built inside her cage. After grabbing the snack, Maisie jogged back inside. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. CTV's Steph Hankeys is here. Steph?
Patricia, the recent snowfall may have snowmobilers thinking about heading out on an excursion this weekend. If you do, police want to make sure you travel safely.
when you get your sled out this year, check your helmet, make sure it's still good, hasn't expired. Make sure the sled is in proper working order. When you're out on the trails, fuel up before you go. There's no gas stations along the way. There are some that the trails will take you to, but when you're in the back trail, you want to make sure you're fully loaded, ready to go. Alcohol and snowmobiling don't mix. Save that for afterwards. When you're on the trails, drive sober.
The Ottawa Police Service's Marine Dive and Trails Unit holding an event in Stittsville today to kick off snowmobile season. Police are reminding riders to avoid venturing out onto icy waters, stay on designated trails, and adjust your driving to the conditions. Snowmobilers must carry proof of valid insurance, ID, and a trail pass. Several downtown bus routes top the list of most canceled trips as OC Transpo deals with a bus shortage this month. OC Transpo canceled 2,768 bus trips during the week of January 4th and 10th. Data provided to CTV News Ottawa show routes 6, 7, 98, and 12 had the highest number of bus trips during the first week of January. 118 trips were canceled on Route 6 during the week. While the calendar says January, sports fans are thinking about the boys of summer. Single game tickets for the Toronto Blue Jays went on sale this morning after the club advanced to the World Series last year. Tickets for the home opener sold out in just minutes. The Jays home opener is March 27th. To buy tickets, you can visit the Toronto Blue Jays website.
Stutzler winds across the top, gets ahead of steam, in comes Stutzler, shoots, scores!
The Ottawa Senators will be looking for a second straight win tonight in Nashville. James Reimer will get the start for Ottawa. The Sens are coming off a 4-1 win in Columbus on Tuesday night. You can catch the Sens and Predators on TSN and TSN 1200. Puck drop is at 8 p.m. The Escapade Music Festival will return to the RA Centre this June. This year's lineup includes Tiesto, Fisher, Disco, Lines, and Canadian duo Loud Luxury. Tickets go on sale Monday at 10 a.m. Escapade runs June 26th to the 28th.
Perfect. So we're going to go down into a squat. Oh my God, no.
And they literally
And this isn't necessarily something you need to know, but rather something we want to show you. CTV Your Morning Ottawa's Will Aiello discovered why you don't wear a suit while doing squats. He ripped his pants during a segment on the show this morning. Luckily, Melissa Lamb was close by and helped to cover him up with a blanket. But you do need to know your Morning Ottawa is on Monday to Friday between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. on CTV2. Patricia, that was one of my worst nightmares, especially if you didn't have time to change and do a quick change during commercial break for those fitness segments. Luckily, that has never happened to me.
You muscular guys, you got to worry about that.
That's the CrossFit bod, you know?
Man.
It did happen at a wedding, though.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I feel like there's a big story there.
Yeah.
Talk about a colleague having your back, though. Melissa just about to race in with that.
You'd do that for me, right?
100%. Will was letting her rip. They're letting her rip on the ski hill as well at Edelweiss. That's where Jackie is for us tonight.
Not quite letting her up yet, Patricia, but we'll try to get up there for you this evening. It's a gorgeous night. I mentioned it earlier that there was a snow squall watch in effect here for the Wakefield area, but it has since cleared, and conditions are really great for an evening like to be out on the hill. I want to bring in Jean-Sebastien. You are the general manager here at Sommet Edelweiss. Just talk about the weather for today. A couple of warnings in effect, or watches, and now it's cleared.
Yeah, we got a few snow squalls before, lasted 5 minutes, and just enough to freshen up these already amazing conditions. We're so gifted this year. It's incredible. We get dumped on twice a week, and the weather is it's just perfect. Temperatures are nice and average, and just a perfect winter.
Well, just talk about the winter compared to previous seasons. You were just mentioning that we've had really great skiing conditions this year compared to last year or previous years.
Well, last year skiing was good. We didn't get as much snow, and this year we just get fresh snow week after week. It's nonstop. It's beautiful. It's average temps. It's real winter-like, real Canadian winter. It's perfect.
And I'm loving all the people that are out here right now. How many hills are open on an average night?
Well, we're almost 100% open right now. We got one or two runs left that require a little bit of snowmaking. That'll be finished up this weekend with the colder temps coming our way, and that'll just last a couple of days, just enough to finalize everything and get us open from top to bottom, 100%.
I'm looking at all the people coming down here on this hill. Just talk about the cold weather that we are talking about. Everyone's talking about how we're getting minus 20 temperatures. What does that mean for the ski hills? Are you going to be staying open? Are you guys monitoring it?
Well, this is normal. This is Canadian winter. It's going to be in the minus 20s. Dress warmly. Skiing is better when it's cold. Ice doesn't create ice. The snow, this fresh snow, is going to stay nice and dry. Bundle up, come on in, take a break every 2 or 3 runs, and it's what it's all about.
Warm up with some poutine, hot chocolate. I love that. Thank you so much, JS. We really appreciate it. Yeah. So again, Sommet Edelweiss gearing up for this weekend. While a lot of people are going to be choosing to stay home, the diehards who are going to hit those slopes, Patricia, are probably going to be here, one of the many hills that are in and around the Quebec and Ottawa area. So again, great advice. Bundle up, take advantage of this wonderful conditions that we're having despite the super cold temperatures.
And what I heard is that it's still really warm for the après-ski, so got me there. Thanks, Jackie. Well, coming up, it's time to roll up your sleeves and get your vaccinations. Ottawa's Medical Officer of Health is here with what you need to know about child vaccines.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, school is back in full swing following the Christmas break, and some Ottawa parents are finding they're the ones assigned the homework. They're getting notices from Ottawa Public Health to ensure their kids' vaccines are up to date. Students in every Ontario school are required to have up to 9 vaccines to attend class. Some vaccines are needed when they're older. At the start of the school year, there were 15,000 notices sent out to parents to remind them. Dr. Trevor Arneson is Ottawa's Medical Officer of Health. To remind parents what they need, often because they are behind. It is a lot for parents to keep track of, right? Especially if you have more than one child. There's a lot of vaccines.
Yeah, there's quite a number of vaccines. These are vaccines that children are getting in their first few years of life, and we're checking them when they're in school because they can cause outbreaks in the school setting. So these are vaccines like tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis, or whooping cough, varicella or chickenpox, meningitis, measles, mumps, rubella. These are the ones that are really important to prevent because they can really cause problems in school settings.
Yeah, and as a parent, you certainly love to know that other kids are vaccinated. You're not going to have an issue with any of this stuff coming home. So how does this work in terms of what you guys are doing at Ottawa Public Health? How are you kind of checking up to make sure that those vaccinations have been given?
So we require reporting from parents under something called the Immunization of School Pupils Act that every public health unit in Ontario is responsible for checking. So we picked two very important cohorts, 7-year-olds, which is after all of those primary immunizations are given, and 17-year-olds, which is a time later in high school when they should have completed another series of vaccinations. So we send out notices to everyone that we haven't had a report of all of those vaccines based on their age, and that tends to be quite a lot every year because parents aren't always aware that they need to report these vaccines.
Right, because it is the parents that have to do it. It's not the doctor passing along that information.
Correct. We do not have a system in Ontario where healthcare providers send that information directly, so it really is up to the parent. And now we have tools that help people report those more easily.
Online.
So these are online tools like there's an application called Icon where you can go and report your vaccines. There's also a Can Immunize app which allows people to record their vaccines for their children and then automatic sending to Ottawa Public Health.
Okay, so if a parent does get one of those letters, they receive it in the mail, get it home from their child's classroom, what do they do? What's the next move?
Yeah, so the important thing is to check what's going on, read what's in the letter. Oftentimes there's information directing you where you can get more information. OttawaPublicHealth.ca/immunize tells you how you can get the immunizations you need. And these are delivered through primary care providers. So sometimes that's the first step, checking with a family doctor or nurse practitioner to see if they have the vaccines or if there was a misstep in reporting. And then otherwise, that website will direct you on how to get the vaccines you need if you're missing some.
Okay, because you want to make sure as a parent you don't get the vaccine again if it's just a matter of you lost track and you just need to report it.
In some circumstances, getting the vaccine again is the best path because vaccines train the immune system. It's like exercise. You know, once you get more, it will boost more. But generally, we want to make sure that people have coverage of all those important vaccines. And so that's why checking with a healthcare provider who may have provided them is often the best place to start.
And just quickly, we're out of time, but if you are not up to date for a prolonged period, then suspension's possible.
That's the end of a long process of notification. And even when we get to the stage of suspension, we often are able to work with parents even on that day of suspension so to bring this child back to school without much disruption.
All right. Doctor, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Dr. Trevor Arneson, Ottawa's Chief Medical Officer of Health, and CTV Ottawa does have extended coverage of Ottawa Public Health's reminder to get your kids' vaccinations up to date. Let the school know if they are. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Inside one more. Hellier. Inside Dunbar.
Coming up, lacrosse and country music teaming up for a big night at Canadian Tire Centre. The Bell Media Weekender has the details just ahead.
This is your United Way Minute.
Columbus House has been supporting youth since 1989. Many of the youth require some addiction or some mental health supports. They're living in situations that are not safe.
When I first became homeless, it was devastating. I felt lost. I felt confused. I was angry. Columbus House has been so helpful. Walking in, you feel at home. You feel like it's okay to not be okay. I have housing where I can save now. It allows me to focus in on other things that I haven't focused in on in a long time, which is education for me.
United Way has allowed us to expand this program. We've been able to add a counselor to our services.
My life has significantly improved.
Help youth in crisis get back on their feet. Donate today at unitedwayeo.ca or call 613-228-6700.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Staying busy on this cold weekend ahead as we check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
Kicking it off with your Ottawa Black Bears coming up tomorrow night. It's Country Night at Canadian Tire Centre, presented by Pure Country 94. Your Black Bears are taking on the Vancouver Warriors, and the first 1,000 fans through the gates get a free bandana. So make sure you grab your tickets at ticketmaster.ca. Next on the list today is the Ring of Honor induction ceremony celebration, Sens game. Your Sens are taking on the Carolina Hurricanes on Saturday, and before the game starts, Jacques Martin is being inducted into the Ring of Honor with a special ceremony. Jacques Martin is a pillar of the Ottawa Senators organization, and to this day continues to make a huge difference. Saturday also happens to be exactly 30 years to the day of his coaching debut with the Senators. So head to the CTC to help celebrate an absolute legend. And last on the list today is the annual Robert Plant Winter Market. This is Saturday between 9 and 4, and a really great opportunity to support local and enjoy a day of browsing and shopping, all while getting to know some vendors within our community. Dogs are also welcome, so feel free to bring the pup along for a special Saturday outing. As usual, lots more happening around the capital this weekend. The full list and all the details are at ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, my name's Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
A federal court has ruled on an order that demanded TikTok stop operating in Canada. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has more.
Don't panic. TikTok will keep entertaining Canadians, at least for now. A judge has shelved the order that demanded the social media company wind down its Canadian operation. There were security concerns about the parent company's links to the Chinese government. But there will be a new national security review of the company. TikTok says it has 14 million users in Canada. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.53. West Texas Intermediate down over $1 to 59.36. Western Canadian Select up just a bit to 45.43. And the TSX gained 151 points to close back above 33,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
Congratulations to all of this year's nominees.
Well, coming up, the nominees are out for the 98th Oscars. We'll look at which movies are in the running for Best Picture just ahead. And here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. We zip by that, sorry. We're going right to Jackie. Is with some kids who look like they're ready to go skiing. Jackie?
Yeah, Patricia, having a lot of fun here, making some new friends. Darcy, you've been boarding since you were 2, right?
Yep.
What do you like about it?
The wind in my face.
Okay, what else?
I really like the park.
Yeah, what about yourself?
I like the park. The one that I like the most is the boxes.
Oh, I love it. All right, you guys have a great time. They're going to be on their second round here at Edelweiss. Great nights here for skiing, and the conditions are pretty clear as well. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam showcasing downtown Ottawa. Chilly night, but not as chilly as it's going to get in the next several nights, where we're going to start to see temperatures dip to about minus 17, even minus 27.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
We want to go back out to Edelweiss now for one final look at the weather. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. Lots of smiles today on the hill. A lot of people loving being out and about in these conditions. Will it be a different story for the next several days? Because, yeah, we're in for a deep freeze for at least the next 3 days. Temperatures are going to drop to about minus 14 overnight, only getting to a daytime high about minus 13. Yeah, there is a chance that we could see some flurries moving through our Friday. But then Saturday, we're going to get lots of sunshine. That's the good news. Minus 27, though, is the overnight low. We're only getting to a daytime high about minus 18. And we talked about this U.S. winter storm that is developing. We could see some of this moving through in our area by Sunday evening into Monday, and it could bring between 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. So we are keeping a close eye on this. We are tracking it, but for now we are focused on this deep freeze that is making its way into the eastern Ontario. So again, bundle up, stay warm, take advantage of as many activities as you can. A lot of people are having that positive energy here that they are going to be hitting the hills this weekend, regardless of how cold it is.
I want some of that positive energy. I don't like that board. I really don't.
My brain froze just looking at it. I was like,
man. Thank you for this, Jackie. We'll try. We'll try.
Goodness.
We want to check in and see what our team is working on for tonight. Stefan Keys will be here at 11:30.
I sure will, Patricia. And tonight we bring you a positive development to a story we shared about an Ontario senior. If you missed the initial report, it was a news story we ran last week sharing the fact that a tenant in her 80s had been waiting for windows since late November and still didn't have them as we entered the core part of winter. At Christmas time, when she was with her son, a squirrel had even gotten into the unit, leaving the place a mess. But tonight, we are happy to report that CTV's reporting made a difference, and the new windows came in shortly after the story aired. So tonight, we'll have that full story and more. Join us for CTV News at 11:30. Patricia.
All right, good stuff, Steph. Thank you. I do think, realistically, a lot of people will be staying in and watching some movies this weekend.
Definitely.
And I love this time of year because now I know which ones are the good ones to watch. We have the nominees that have been announced for the 98th Annual Academy Awards.
Rise and shine.
Pat and eyelash.
Good morning.
So the nominees for Best Picture include One Battle After Another, Sinners, most nominated
There's a good
movie
one
in there, yeah. The Secret Agent, the F1 movie, Marty Supreme, it's the only one I've seen. One Battle After Another and Sinners received, One Battle After Another, received 13 nominations. Sinners, though, that record breaker, 16, which is more than any other year. Titanic, any of those big ones.
Yeah.
So hopefully some big wins for it. Apparently it's great.
The music was wonderful now.
Oh, you did see it?
I did see it.
An
This was the only one on the list I think I saw.
Vampire turned something else kind of movie.
Yeah, and
Something
then
else turned
Michael B.
vampire
Jordan had to play like the evil twin. Like there are two of them, two Michael B's, one movie.
All right.
Great music.
That's your money's worth right there. Have a good night, everyone.